Hello, this is Keith Adley from Longfield, and this is part 2 in our presentation on binary trees CMT for CoExistence version 3. In this short presentation I'm going to show how CMT for CoExistence helps in calendaring and scheduling. Initially I'm going to be working with two users that are not covered by CMT for CoExistence so that we can show native operation just using standard SMTP mail routing with no additional processing, and then afterwards I'll show you how CMT for CoExistence can improve the situation that we see. So I'm going to open Thomas's calendar and create a meeting for Friday, schedule a meeting, and this is going to be a test non-coex from notes, so we can just tell what it is, where it's coming from. And I'm going to invite along George Washington, do a quick check to see if he's free, and unfortunately we can see that there's no free busy information come back for George, and this is because CoExistence isn't running for this user, and standard notes client and Domino server is unable to retrieve free busy information from Exchange without the CoExistence server in place. So I'm going to send that over to George. Open his inbox, it's already arrived. Open up this meeting invitation. The from address here is shown in a slightly confusing format because it's a mixture of Lotus Notes hierarchical and SMTP addressing. This is caused by the complexities that are in calendaring and scheduling invitations. There's much more detailed address data that's carried across from one system to the other, and natively Exchange and Domino and Exchange are unable to properly interpret and manage that data, so we get a slightly confusing picture of addressing. We also get some additional image files that are attached to the message that are not processed properly by Outlook when they arrive. So just click OK, accept on this meeting, and this should send a response back to Thomas, and indeed it has. It's arrived. We can see it's an acceptance. Notes is able to process it as a standard acceptance notice, and when we open it up, I can open the actual meeting itself. Now typically, if it's an invitation with multiple recipients, the chair is going to want to check the invitee status, and here we see a classic problem that manifests itself without CMT for CoExistence, in that we get duplicate entries for each user. The original recipient shows as having no response, but it's putting an additional entry for George, exactly the same person, and showing this one as accepted. So we've got confusion of has he responded, has he accepted, who knows. And this can cause a severe amount of confusion, particularly when there are multiple invitees for a meeting. It can get very messy, very confusing. So close that. I'm now going to go to the calendar. We can see that the meeting was properly put onto the calendar for George in Outlook. But what I'm going to do now is create a meeting from Outlook to Notes, and I'm going to invite Thomas. The subject is going to be test non-coex from Outlook. Going to check to see if the free busy information is available, and it comes back as saying no information, no free busy info could be retrieved. And again, this is because CMT for CoExistence isn't in place, and cross-system free busy lookups are not available without that there. So we're in the dark. We don't know whether or not Thomas is available for this period of time. So I'm going to send it across. Open the mailbox, and we have an invitation that's come from George Washington. He's invited us to a meeting. Over on the right, again, there's some confusion here because the meeting would normally, we'd expect this to see just a single entry here, unless it was actually sent by a delegate. In this case it's been sent by George, but the system's unable to determine correctly that George is a single entry, so we get this confusion of multiple entries here, and this again is a classic problem that we see. So I shall respond accept. It goes back. I'll check the inbox here. Again it comes back accepted. Now when we try to look at the status of the meeting, so what I'm going to do is actually go into the calendar, open up the meeting itself here, and we've got two names, Thomas Jefferson and Thomas.Jefferson at Domino. When I click on tracking, again we've suddenly got two people with the same name effectively, although one is in SMTP format. The original one, no acceptance, and the second one has accepted. So again, it can lead to confusion. We're not sure who's accepted the meeting, who hasn't, and why the user has suddenly got a duplicate entry in there. The reason for this is that CMT for CoExistence isn't in place, and it's not there to sort out the mess that occurs without it there. Okay, so I'm going to now switch to my CoExistence user, and I'm going to invite. I'll use the same user that I did before previously with the CoExistence environment. So I'm going to schedule a meeting, test coex from notes, invite along my Exchange user Clement Attlee, check availability, and within a few seconds we should see a response here, and indeed we do. We can see that Thursday morning Clement's free all day. This information is pretty much up to date. It's updated almost in real time, sometimes a few minutes delay, but it's pretty accurate and it's pretty reliable, so you should be able to see exactly when someone's available or not. Send the invitation across, open up the inbox. It's already arrived, in fact. Open up the inbox in OWA to see the message. In fact, it hasn't arrived yet, just waiting for a moment or two. Here it is. Double click on it to open this meeting, and we can see a nice clean format of who the message is from. I can accept, send a response back. That goes over to notes, check in Bill's inbox. We have the response back, and both names are in what is notes hierarchical form. Open the meeting, check in the invitee status, and we have a nice clean single entry for Clement Attlee having accepted the meeting. In part 3 of the series I'm going to show the same effect but from an Outlook generated meeting, so we'll switch over to that presentation now. Thank you.